Out of nowhere, Tottenham in advanced talks with the agent of a Bayern Munich superstar. Could this be the midfield pillar Thomas Frank has been desperate for? Welcome back to Tottenham News Today channel. Tottenham are pushing the boundaries of their January transfer plans after advanced talks were opened with the agent of Bayern Munich powerhouse Leon Goretzka. According to Turkish journalist Yağız Sabuncuoğlu, discussions between Goretzka's representatives and Spurs are already well underway. The revelation emerged while Sabuncuoğlu was investigating Fenerbahce's interest in signing a dominant central midfielder, only to uncover that Tottenham are far more advanced in the race for the Bayern star. The news alone highlights the sheer scale of Spurs' ambition as they look to reshape their midfield with elite-level pedigree. Goretzka is not just another name on a shortlist. He is a world-class operator forged in one of Europe's most ruthless winning environments. Since arriving at Bayern Munich, the Germany international has become synonymous with dominance, power and consistency at the highest level. Across nearly 290 appearances, he has delivered an astonishing 46 goals and 48 assists from midfield, numbers that underline his influence in both boxes. Goretzka has been a central figure in Bayern's modern dynasty, lifting 6 Bundesliga titles, multiple domestic cups, the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup and the German Super Cup. This is a midfielder with a proven winning DNA, exactly the profile Thomas Frank has been crying out for as Tottenham look to add leadership, steel and elite mentality to their spine. What makes this situation particularly explosive is Bayern Munich's stance. Goretzka's contract is set to expire in the summer, and crucially, there is no appetite from the player to extend his stay in Bavaria. With Bayern facing the risk of losing him for nothing, a January exit is suddenly very much on the table. That dynamic places Tottenham in a strong negotiating position, with sources suggesting that securing Bayern's green light may not be overly complicated once personal terms are finalised. From Spurs' perspective, the appeal is obvious. Goretzka offers rare versatility capable of operating as a box-to-box force, a more advanced midfielder, or even providing cover deeper when required. His athleticism, physical presence and intelligence would instantly raise Tottenham's level, bringing authority and experience into a squad that has often lacked control in decisive moments. This is why the link feels seismic. Tottenham are not merely monitoring a situation, they are actively engaging, targeting a player with elite credentials who still has plenty to offer at the top level. Should negotiations continue on their current trajectory, Spurs could land one of the most decorated midfielders in European football in a deal that suddenly looks far more realistic than anyone expected. If completed, it would be a defining signing for Thomas Frank and a clear signal that Tottenham intend to compete with power, pedigree and proven winners starting this January. Tottenham's pursuit of one of South America's most talked-about teenage attackers has just taken a dramatic turn, with clarity finally emerging over the kind of money required to prize him away from Brazil. Spurs have been tracking Vasco da Gama sensation Rayan for months, with recruitment staff repeatedly impressed by his explosiveness, confidence on the ball and rare maturity for a player still in his teens. Now the North London club know exactly what they are dealing with financially, and it is a figure that underlines just how highly the Brazilian club rate their prized asset. Fresh reports from Brazil reveal that Vasco recently knocked back a concrete European offer for the 19-year-old, instantly setting a clear benchmark for any club circling. Zenit St Petersburg tested the waters with a proposal worth around £27 million as a guaranteed fee, structured across several instalments, with additional bonuses included. The response from Vasco was swift and uncompromising. The message was blunt: that figure is nowhere near enough. Vasco have made it clear that Rayan will not be allowed to leave unless a bid in the region of £43 million lands on the table. The Brazilian side see him as a cornerstone of their sporting and financial future, and they have zero intention of being bullied into a cut-price sale, even with overseas interest intensifying. However, here's where the situation becomes particularly interesting for Tottenham. Insiders close to the player suggest Rayan is being extremely selective about his next move. Despite approaches from clubs in Russia, Portugal and Turkey, the teenager is believed to have little appetite for what he views as a stepping stone transfer. His ambition is clear. He wants a direct jump to one of Europe's elite leagues, with the Premier League high on his list. That stance significantly shifts the power dynamic. Sources in Brazil indicate that if a genuine heavyweight from one of Europe's top competitions makes a serious push, Vasco could soften their demands. While the £43 million figure has been publicly stated, there is a growing belief that the asking price could drop if the right project and the right club stature is presented. Tottenham crucially fit that profile, with Spurs continuing to reshape their attacking options and placing a strong emphasis on elite young talent with resale potential. Rayan is viewed internally as a long-term investment rather than a short-term gamble. The club's extensive scouting work means this is not a speculative name, but a player they genuinely believe could explode at the highest level. As rival bids are dismissed and the player's preferences become clearer, the sense is growing that the race for Rayan is entering a decisive phase. Tottenham now know the number, understand the conditions, and are well aware that patience and timing could be key to unlocking one of Brazil's brightest young forwards. Spurs' long-running admiration for one of the Premier League's brightest young midfielders is back in the spotlight, and this time the noise is getting louder behind the scenes. Tottenham are once again keeping a close eye on Kobbie Mainoo, with sources indicating that interest from North London has been quietly revived after a failed attempt to strike a deal during the summer. The 20-year-old remains one of the most talked-about young talents in English football, and Tottenham believe the current situation at Old Trafford could yet open a door. Mainoo's frustration has been a recurring theme in recent weeks. The England international is understood to be increasingly focused on securing regular minutes at the highest level, aware that consistent game time is crucial if he wants to cement his place in the national setup ahead of the World Cup. That ambition has inevitably fueled speculation about a possible exit, with Spurs monitoring developments closely. However, Manchester United's stance is far from straightforward. New head coach Ruben Amorim has publicly moved to calm the situation, delivering a strong message about Mainoo's importance to the club's long-term vision. The Portuguese manager has labelled the midfielder as the future of Manchester United, insisting that opportunities can arise suddenly and that patience is required. Amorim also hinted at United's lack of depth in midfield, suggesting that letting Mainoo leave would not be an easy decision unless reinforcements arrive. Yet it is that very caveat that has caught Tottenham's attention. Insiders believe Amorim's comments stop short of offering a full guarantee. United's hierarchy are said to be open to difficult decisions if they succeed in bringing in a new midfielder during the January window. Should that happen, Mainoo's path to regular football could remain blocked, and Spurs would be ready to pounce. From Tottenham's perspective, Mainoo ticks every box. Young, Premier League proven, tactically intelligent and already comfortable under pressure, he is viewed as a midfielder who could grow into a central figure for years to come. Spurs see an opportunity to offer what United currently cannot promise: a clearer route to consistent starts and a key role in a developing side. Competition, however, will be fierce. Several European clubs are tracking the situation closely, fully aware that any hint of availability would spark a scramble for his signature. For now, Mainoo remains at Old Trafford, publicly backed by his manager. But with January approaching and Tottenham circling, this is a situation that could escalate rapidly, and Spurs are determined not to be caught off guard if the future of one of England's most exciting midfielders suddenly comes up for debate. That's all for today's update. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with everything Tottenham, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Don't forget to drop a like and share this video with other Spurs fans. Together we can keep growing the Tottenham News Today community. Thanks for watching, and as always, come on you Spurs!